1.
Just like that. Another day, another
This meeting is
episode.
being recorded.
This is
Episode 308 of A to the Show.
Bro, after a year has gone by, this is the first Wise Guys
308
episode, right?
episodes. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think this is. So, boys, it's been a year. We already did our whole shit with the A to the staff, right? But now it's us boys, and we get to talk a little bit about...
Well, I do want to say that it's amazing that we got 2 guys in Lebanon right now. One guy in LA.
And one in Canada.
One has
in
returned to
Kuwait.
his roots.
Returned to his roots. He's dying to go back. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
okay.
And it's
Return to his roots.
It's amazing that we've been able to keep close, throughout, as because we're so far apart.
We are so far apart.
Yeah, man. Modern technology.
Ali, don't make me cry now, please.
No,
It's
but
not
it's
Imagine
amazing.
that. We can do that in the 21st century. Whoa. Boys, the future is here.
To think 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this wouldn't have been possible. This was speaking of time, right?
No, it was, but through Skype
Right,
or something.
but not the recording it. And
It wasn't
talking
as
with
good, yeah.
everyone. It wasn't
that's true.
and having guests and meeting people and wasn't speaking of time.
Speaking of
It's
time,
5 years ago, 10 years ago, and maybe we wouldn't have been speaking at all. Who
Dude.
goes to know? I mean, we stay in touch, but back then they had pen pals. I'd mail you a letter, Ali, or something, I'd send you a picture.
So actually, on this topic, I was talking yesterday about literally our modern life took hundreds of thousands of years of humans suffering and toiling hard to build up progressively. What we have today, all of this took hundreds of thousands of years to reach. It's
I don't
not
think
a
they were
trivial thing
suffering
at all.
though. Back
Very-
then,
Yeah.
like ravens. I mean,
Hundreds
it
of
was
thousands
lit,
of
you know?
years.
I mean,
no scientist has ever worked to the equation of finding electricity. They just happen to stumble on it, oh shit, this is a thing right here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think
But
it
the
was
life before it-
suspense back then. Like when you send an "I love you" note through a raven or a hawk. I mean, you 3 months to get it back. I mean,
Like,
Actually, you have it wrong. Pigeons are the most people use. Ravens and hawks are for the rich people. The raven hawk, cake one day.
sorry,
Yeah.
6-7
this
days.
fuckers keep fly. But
Rich
no,
people,
you
they're
know,
fucking ravens and hawks.
you know what time
Premium
showed us?
communication.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this, right? I want to ask you all this question, but I'm gonna answer first. Is what has time shown you, right? For me, time showed me the most important lesson I've ever been told was easy come, easy go, right? The reason friendships were easily or better maintained before is because the day you sit with your friend, you don't know if you're ever gonna sit with him again for the next few years, months, decades, regardless, right? So I think this showed, even now, you get into a relationship and break up in a matter of seconds, right? Whereas before it took actual reason to break up with someone. Not saying that people don't have reasons now. They don't, but just, but also in terms of friendship, right? People fight and make up all the time with friends. Think of how many times we've fought with each other behind the scenes throughout the year, right?
And I think things have always been that way. What do you mean? What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is, when you have a friend that you don't see for a while, you cherish them more than when you see them every single day. Might be true,
Absence
might
makes
not
the
be
heart grow
true. You
fond.
know what I
I
mean?
disagree, dude. I disagree.
I
'Cause I just want to say
agree, to
something.
be honest.
Because when I feel nowadays, because we see each other more frequently, I feel we're more in the high school days when we used to actually see each other all the time.
Every single day.
And I feel our relationships have grown, and it's actually we've been hanging out. You know what I mean? And I definitely cherish that way more than the time I didn't see you guys over how many years, or just saw you guys over Christmas break, or just, So
Yeah, but
I
Sandy,
definitely,
whenever you go
I like
back on
that.
the whenever you go back on Christmas break, you have so much fun. You enjoy the company of your friends even more because it's whoa, you haven't seen them in forever.
I don't know,
right?
man. I think the momentum and the whole time and duration of developing relationships with you guys.
I think
Yeah.
you're
Ali,
Ali,
both
what I
right.
would comment about this, what
Yeah.
I would comment about this is you're comparing the life of the teenage years to compared to now as us as adults. So
Yeah.
I feel maybe as we mature, seeing someone on a daily basis does reach a point where we don't, not necessarily lose interest, but it doesn't become as appealing to us as when we you're like hanging out with each other from time to time.
I
Like,
would disagree, man. Because
Yeah, I
a
don't think
partner
that's-
or a very close friend, dude, you can hang out with one person and just hang out for
I think
hours
it's
and
more
hours with
along
them.
the lines of like we're busy these days. Like I can't see every single friend like every day, you know. So
But the
we
friends that I do have, the
Oh,
close
yeah.
friends, I see them more. And the close people in my life, I see them way more now.
I don't
than
know.
have.
Like for me, like when I see someone daily and I go hang out with them, I sometimes, like, obviously this is not always the situation, but it is more frequent where I see myself being less energetic because we're hanging out all the time or we're talking all the time. If it's someone who I don't see all the
Yep.
time, so they're mainly gonna get the energetic
Here's
side of it.
exactly. Here's where I agree with you guys, because I think like if like you don't see someone for like 3 years and then you see them for like 2 weeks, it's gonna feel amazing and it's gonna be like everything's perfect. You guys doing really fun things and hanging out. And everything's really positive. You don't get to the point where it's like you have to deal with the other person and actually learn about the other person and you know grow with the other person.
Let's put a stop to this.
But I think that's where it's important. That's where.
Come again, Abbas?
I was like, do you think that makes things more shallow? Like
What?
not more, because I mean when you don't sit with a person and like learn about it, like I think it becomes more shallow of a friendship.
Exactly. It's not as deep as it could be.
Yeah, but with time, right? You
but I mean, if
deepen
we-
the relationship.
With that person and it's like, oh, I miss you and I miss. Okay, I mean it's a good friendship, but it's not as beautiful as like a 5-year friendship where you see that person every day. I think.
True, right. But here's the thing, right? With friendships and time, there's only one way it could end is when it actually ends, right? So we all know the term nothing is forever. So it really depends on, like, see, here's the thing. I know Ali's looking at me in a weird way, like, what's he trying to say? Sometimes you get into friendships for years and years and you just feel like people are growing apart, right? It's a mutual understanding and a mutual agreement of, hey, you know, we're not kids anymore. You're an adult. You've grown to a specific branch. I've grown to a specific branch of this tree we call friendship, right? But at the same time, there are friendships that I've seen that have lasted for more than 50, 60 years, right? And it's crazy. So
Here's how I feel about my life. This is something I relate to. I feel like life is like chapters and it's like a storybook, and every time you have a chapter and you have this chapter in your life where
Different characters.
you're gonna have these characters in your life and you're gonna really enjoy them and you just gotta embrace that. You might not have people from the previous chapters, but you also gotta embrace that you might have a new chapter and then this chapter might be over and you gotta do something new.
true.
But
So
you never
that's
forget
how I
where you
feel
come
about it.
from.
yeah, you'll
Your
never, of
analogy
course.
must be coming. Your analogy must be coming from all those books you're reading, man.
True.
I'm
That's
gonna Arnold
Stockpiling
Schwarzenegger.
at the
It's
back.
like chapters and like, you know,
Right.
characters and books and
Yeah, stop flexing. You're not there yet. When you reach there, we'll give you the flexing rights.
The
Now,
That's
only
fair.
Bible is reading is
I
the
wanna-
Bible of bodybuilding.
fair.
That's it.
I want to ask now that I've answered. I think it's your turn. So, because we spent so much time together, and this episode is mainly about time, what has time taught you guys? Let's start with Ali.
Sherif can go.
All right, fine. Sherif, go ahead. Since you're eager to speak, Sherif, what has time
No,
taught you?
I want to just clarify the question though. Do you mean irrelevant to the podcast? What we learned from the podcast?
It could be that, or in general through your life. Like, what has time taught you?
Time taught me that it's very precious. Like, I feel like I relate to that because I've wasted a lot of time in the last few years, like just gaming and just not building long-term goals and stuff. So like, I feel like even though I have made certain life milestones, like I have my own apartment, my own job, I settled in a new country, but still, it's like I feel like I could have done more. So like, really, don't waste your time. It's the sands of time in that hourglass are falling every single day. So like. Also because I had a relative who died like last year as well. It made me realize that even more. Like we can die much younger than we expect to die. Yeah, basically, time is really precious. Don't waste it.
Perfect.
So-
Abbas?
Can I go next?
Yeah.
All right,
Abbas.
I'll take it. I'll take the oh, you wanna go Abbas?
I just said I want to go next.
Yeah, go ahead. So,
Ali, go ahead.
floor is
All right.
yours.
So my relationship with time is I have, when we started this podcast, we had this like, all right, it started off kind of randomly, but at the early points, I kind of had this vision of where it would be right now, and I didn't know what it would look like, but I, just had an idea that we'd be interviewing people and keep doing this and doing it daily and meeting people and talking to each other. And just the time taught me that if you have a vision of something and you keep hammering at it, you can actually make that vision a reality, which blew my mind. And now this is how I see my life now with time. I think that time is passing and I'm going to get to a point which is 2, 3, 4 years later. So where do I want to be exactly? I need to know. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to be then, so I can just go at that direction and try to make it there, pretty much.
Right. Perfect. Do you want to go now, Abbas, or should we go with Saeed?
Whatever, sure.
Abbas,
Abbas,
floor is yours.
So what time has taught me? It's taught me a lot of life lessons. The more we live, the more we learn. I guess that's what I learned. That the more you live, the more experience you get, and the wiser you get. It's okay to make mistakes, but as long as you learn from it and you get back from it, that's perfectly fine. No matter how many mistakes you've done, And also, I wanted to say, like Sherif, time is very precious. Now I'm realizing that money isn't the most important thing. Your time is the most important thing, and I realize that day after day after day.
And finally, Saeed.
What time taught me, so it's basically taught me about acceptance. So like mainly to accept change in life and accept life as it is. Don't try to go out of your way to basically kill yourself to do life-changing things in your life. Just like take it easy, go at your own pace. You don't have to force things out of hand. You don't have to like kill yourself to do something. It's okay. It's eventually things will come to you. You just obviously you have to keep putting in the effort and the time, but don't slow down. It's okay. Accept it. And if anything new wants to come into your life, also accept it. Find a way to accept change.
I agree with that so much. Accept it, because you never know. I mean, 1 year ago, we didn't actually know where we're going to be right now. And
basically,
and who knows where we're going to be 1 year from now also.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Life is very transient, and you just got to accept what comes and accept what goes and control what you can. Yeah.
So what have you guys learned in all this time, right? So all this time of being with each other, all this time of, talking, be it with us, with guests, or just purely us boys, right? What has time brought you to realize about yourselves or about anyone here? Go ahead, Saeed.
What I would say is you can never know enough. There's always something new to learn, and our hunger for knowledge is so amazing. Always want, especially us on the podcast, I feel like this is what it's taught us. It's taught us that you can always learn something new from someone, and that's what we've been doing on it. This is what the podcast has been for me. It's been a knowledge source, and it's just I appreciate it so much because I'm always learning something new.
Amazing. Sherif?
Can I go next?
Yeah. Wait. Before I want to comment on Saeed's thing, because I think it's learning, but it's also learning daily over time. So just think about the amount we've learned throughout this past year. It's insane. It's insane.
We did what? We're on episode 380.
308.
308.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're on episode 308, and we haven't even hit the rim of things. It's
yeah.
So we have so much more, and already we learned so much. It's just.
And we still have countries we haven't even reached yet.
Yep,
so
basically.
There's always something to go. There's always a place to go to.
Sounds like a conquest, man.
Yeah. With that, I think I'm gonna answer mine now.
The Roman Empire.
Segueing off of what Saeed just said, time taught me patience. With this podcast and everything, taught me patience, because patience and time. Who was it? It was in War and Peace, where I forgot who wrote that book. Said, time and patience are warriors, right? I think so. Wait, let me search it real quick. Because I was reading about it today, right? It was.
I think some guests taught you patience too, right?
Oh,
Some
bro,
of the guests
you
you
don't
got
even know. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. Right? So patience was with me thinking, I was very like, oh, when are we gonna hit this checkpoint? When are we gonna hit this? When are we gonna start this? When are we gonna, you know? And it was that burning feeling inside me, like, come on, we need this now. I need this to happen now, right? But I realized that an episode every day means an episode every day, and with that comes patience of waiting through publishing an episode, and patience in waiting to film an episode, or patience in waiting to hit a specific amount of subscribers, views, followers, you name it, right? So time for this podcast, or in this podcast, has taught me patience, which is, I think, the most important thing to learn in life, regardless, right? So
I think you can say that an episode a day keeps the impatience away.
fair, yeah, Sherif, yeah.
That's why you should check out A to the show. Go subscribe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll leave it right there. So,
That's funny.
Sherif, what about you?
I think it's amazing going on what Ali said himself, Ali Haejl, that you have had such a wide variety of people from so many different fields, so many different areas of life, so many industries, entertainment, NASA, the other podcasts, war reporters, you've had ghost hunters, you've had bodybuilders. There's like, I don't think there's anything sports. I don't think there's anything you haven't touched yet. So like, it's amazing you're bringing so much education on one platform, on one podcast, and I really
I want the
admire that.
Dalai
I think
Lama.
it's something.
Dude, if we get the Dalai
It's a bit
Lama
ambitious.
on.
Please, if you're
Hopefully
watching,
someday.
please, yeah, bring him on. You guys, tweet him.
Yeah.
Tweet at him.
Tweet him, let him
Yeah.
know.
Tag him.
Abbas,
Tag him and everything. Yeah.
did you answer,
Ah.
Abbas?
Yeah, I answered.
Ali, you answered, everyone answered. Okay, so let's do some free talk. We talked about our past, we talked about our present, but we never talked about the future of Wise Guys and what direction we're trying to head to as the six of us, right? We're missing one or two people, but all of us, right? As like we've talked a bit about the show's future and how we're trying to aim it, but with the Wise Guys, we kind of left it in your hands because it's nice to have that one day of the week where it's just you guys. You guys get full control of how the show is, where it goes. So let's talk a little bit about future plans and what visions you each have for the show, right? For your segment specifically. So take it away, Sherif.
Wait, so basically you're asking where I think we're gonna be in the future?
Not where you
of
think,
podcast?
where you want us to be as like for the Wise Guys, or how you want the Wise Guys episode to be like in a year's time. And in a year we'll look back in this video and be like, hey, we did it, or hey, we did not do it. So what's your vision?
I think sticking to your roots is important. At the end of the day, I think fundamentally it has to stay like a talking, platform. Like basically just exchange ideas and opinions and perspectives. You guys, something I admire about you as well, unlike other podcasts, which you have obviously are aware of yourself and you're proud of, is that you don't bend up. You're not yes men or whatever. What's the word? It's like you don't just go with the opinions of the guests.
We're not
bend to
echo
the wind.
chambers.
Echo chambers is the word, exactly. Like you have your own perspectives on things that you like to uphold and communicate. And even the guests themselves, I think, learn a lot. So, from bright, young, educated guys like you. So, I think that's what has to stay fundamentally. I do think it can go in many different directions based on Ali's dreams. Ali's pretty crazy with his visions, so you never know. I think you can incorporate. I think you can incorporate things like vlogs. I think you can incorporate things like traveling, meeting fans. I think meeting fans, traveling to meet fans, hopefully if it gets big enough in a year's time, is something big. I think that's something I think you guys would want to do. A2 the Empire.
Oh,
It's something I have.
to the army.
Dude, A to the Empire is something I thought of, right? It's basically the sun never sets on the A to the Empire.
Holy
Yeah, bro.
mother.
Because if you think about it, we've had people all the way from the US till so far this point in Asia we've been to.
In Australia.
We've been to Australia, yeah. So the sun literally
and China and
never
from
sets on our
Los
empire.
Angeles
In the
to-
land down under.
It is
right?
kind of insane.
Like we
I've
went
never
from
thought of it like
London
that.
all the way to, I think
Yeah.
we've had, did we have someone from South Africa?
No.
No? South Africa, watch out. We're coming for you guys.
Yeah,
we
we're
gotta
coming
find
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
coming for you.
From
So,
America to Azerbaijan, from Latvia to London, bro.
bro, we've been like in the most, like, we've been east, west.
Georgia, Slovenia, it's
Like, there's still a bunch of, there's still
Yeah.
a bunch, right?
Belarus.
So,
Belarus.
true. So let's not divert a lot from the question, right? Abbas, your future vision for the show.
So my future vision, obviously, to like expand, grow together as a family. Honestly, I would just love to stay with the boys, have a segment till the end, like not just break down, everybody goes their own way. I'd love to like stay like connected.
We're not a rock band. We're gonna stick together.
Yeah, dude, honestly,
We're not one direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also want like to get like everyone's favorite like role model. Eventually, like get their own segment with
Dude.
us.
So that's definitely having. If we ever bring a guest, you guys like, well, obviously we let you know, like, hey,
Obviously,
this is
yeah.
the guest that's coming. Do you guys want to maybe join or not, and like, and so forth. So that's a definite thing we're doing. Like, if I ever get, I don't know, who are you a fan of?
I don't know, bro.
Vidic.
Kobe
Not even football player.
Vidic.
God.
Let's get Vidic on the show, guys.
Dude,
Oh, holy shit.
If he ever comes on, right? Like, obviously, I'm gonna contact you guys and be like, hey, guess who we got on the show? Do you guys want to be on or not?
And that goes without saying, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
I'd also like us to grow more educational, like freaking, like things I learned in med school, me and Ali, or
dude, episode idea. We should definitely do that. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Right. Yeah, that's, dude. Yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah, okay.
I should be
Saeed?
writing this all down. This is all
Dude, I should be writing this all
Vision,
down.
That's why we're
Yeah,
recording this episode.
True. Wait, I don't need to write this. We literally have this episode. It's gonna air
We
soon.
can just watch this.
Right.
We can just watch this for ideas.
I'd also
True.
wait, I want to add one more thing. I'd also like to add like special like days, like gaming day, like not just like just add
Game
like,
show.
days, add, like something, fun, explosive.
Game show.
Game show.
Bro, this sounds like a brainstorming episode,
Yeah,
to be
it
honest.
does. It does. It really does. But hey, by the way, Abbas, me and Ali were once like thinking of. It was a while back, but we wanted to do an Among Us with the wise guys.
That would be fun.
At the
Oh,
time.
No, we could do that one.
But the thing is,
we could open deep convos and then like just kill each other.
and basically is how it would have went, right? Because we do this a lot. We do talk a lot about our ideas and stuff. But that was gonna happen. We were gonna do an Among Us with all the wise guys. But
Let's make it
unfortunately,
happen.
the thing is, we don't know how to edit that hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna take a lot of editing. and-
Yeah.
We'll hire someone. We'll all pitch in $10.
We could actually do it. It wouldn't cost us that much actually to hire someone.
I'll PayPal you, bro. Sure. I'll PayPal you 20 because
Sure.
I'll pay the majority.
أيوة يا كبير.
Saeed.
Let's do it. خلاص, if you guys really want to do it, we can do it.
Yeah, we can set it up and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Abbas has sent $10. Okay.
Bro, أنا ما في دولار هون ما في.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's fine.
I think
that's
it's time.
all right.
It's time to ask. The guy who started the Wise Guys himself, right? It was basically started as Saeed Jammal segment, and it slowly
That
grew
was
into
crazy. The evolution.
Yeah, right.
Last
segment.
time it shows evolution.
So
man. Yeah,
where
exactly,
would you
the
want
last
the?
segment.
Where would you? What's your vision for your segment or the boys segment for the future? Like, what do you have planned? Where do you want us to be? What's your ideas?
Bro, I just want to see us one day sitting all together in a studio with each one has his own mic, with our decorated studio and everything, and just shoot, just like chilling, talking and talking about whatever we want.
That would
Yeah,
be
bro, come to
amazing.
Canada. So
Obviously,
guys,
and
everyone
obviously
come to
with
Canada.
having like around 5 million viewers watching us, of course.
That would be crazy. That would be very crazy. Imagine just like. I can't wait for the day we hit like 1 million subscribers or 1 million views, or because that's just gonna change us forever, right? Like, think about any YouTuber ever before and after fame and success. Like, it's different. So time will tell, right? Time will show us, and time is very important, boys. I don't know what to say other than that. Time is very, very, very important. So I think we've hit a timestamp. I'm not sure.
You can ask me. Then ask me on yet.
Dude,
Hi, Balek.
I mean, because
How
it's
can you
not
forget?
our segment, it's their segment, right?
No, but
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta ask
all
me
of
about-
us.
Exactly.
All of
Fine,
us.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Ali, if that's the case, I'll even answer myself. But
Dude, I
okay.
try. This is why I'm so important. I feel like all of us try to be here every single episode because I think that we like over time it's become something so massive and huge, and I think over time here's some ideas. Definitely game show.
Ooh,
sometime.
we've been talking about this forever,
So,
Definitely.
ladies and gentlemen.
Game show.
basically.
That's the future.
Abbas has to be the announcer, man. I vote for
We
Abbas.
are, listen, we already have someone in mind for the announcer. When we tell you who it is,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Like, yes.
It's taking some time because it's hard, but when we make it work, it's gonna be really good. So
It's gonna
game
be
show,
amazing.
and then traveling, as you said, meeting up. But I also think meeting up in different places because we're so international. I think us as wise guys can meet up different places and do mini docs there. That's also
Mm.
it takes work, but I'm sure with time, we'll get to a point where we can do it. And then and then just keep talking and getting more wiser with the guys, pretty much with the wise guys. I feel like this is like I know we just talk and hang out and stuff, but I feel like just the conversations we have here have taught me that you can spend an hour like talking to people like a close friend and really exchange some ideas and you both grow and learn and you're just hanging out. Like how many times I've hung out with people that I feel like a time's passed but I got nothing out of it. I know some.
No,
it's
getting
different.
joy is enough, man.
Patience.
Like enjoying your time with the person is enough. I think that's like the minimum
Right,
requirement.
minimum. But what is how you can enjoy it? But there's also like having
That's
a
true.
big quality time, and you can do something that is meaningful, and also hang out at the same time, and just have fun.
My
I
vision
think
for
it's
the
the
whole
company.
Yeah,
It's the company that you keep around you. Like you gotta choose the proper friends that you can also, benefit from each other. Not benefit as in like you have to use each other, but benefit as in you guys support each other and
psychologically benefit.
exactly supportively you can support each other, and also at the same time have these intelligent conversations that are, not boring ass conversations.
Basically. My vision for the show is to basically spread awareness on different world issues that we're facing, right? I want us to have enough viewers where we have a huge apparent impact whenever we say whatever we say, right? So think of someone like the President of the United States or world leaders or like celebrities. Whenever they share their opinion on, you have people like actually paying attention. So my goal is not to be famous for the sake of being famous, but to be famous for the sake of spreading the right awareness about the right topics, whatever it may be, right? Hopefully we live in a world in the future where none of this exists, right? But time has only shown us again and again that the world will always suffer from some form of catastrophe, be it natural, human, you name it, it's probably going to happen. And history does tend to repeat itself. So that's where my vision for the show is that we have a lot of viewers where our words really do wake people up or put...
Yes. Wake up!
Right?
Wake the fuck up.
Wake the fuck up, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
it's true. Yeah.
that's my vision for the show. That's where I
If
want
you don't mind me
true.
asking, man, if you don't mind me asking briefly, what are like some big world issues you think you want to
Dude,
address?
easily, like right off the
Palestine.
top, exactly, right off
Palestine,
the top of my
Uyghurs,
head.
Libya, Yemen,
Lebanon,
Lebanon, Syria,
Kuwait,
Sudan,
Syria, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar,
Venezuela, Chile,
yep, Argentina,
Argentina.
We're just naming countries, bro.
Vietnam.
Ecuador. No, all these countries that
Belarus,
actually are going through
Belarus.
shit. Belarus.
Yes. I'm talking about real journalism here. I'm not talking about clickbait journalism.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about like these fake phony journalists on CNN that just
Yeah.
talk about controversial talk
Not just
points so
CNN,
that
like
they
Fox
can
News
push
too
an
as well.
agenda.
They're not out of
What are
this.
the things that are important? Yeah, I'm talking about just in general.
Yeah,
The mainstream news outlets, they're dying and they're being replaced by true journalism, which is us interviewing someone from Palestine. How many things about Palestine have we seen? But it doesn't become real until you get to see someone from
Yeah.
there talk about the
Like,
situation.
till you sit down with someone who is
Yeah.
like there and they're
Yeah.
describing what they're going through and what's going
And
on.
we're going through that experience watching it, but I feel like everyone watching it is also going through that.
True.
With us. We're all going together. We're all traveling
Only
around the
that-
world together. Yeah.
Not only that, I feel like news channels nowadays, they don't give enough time for a specific topic. You know, they just go over it for like
5
2-3
minutes.
minutes. They
Right.
give this maximum 5 minutes to a guest to come talk about this very complicated topic, and like, you know, that has a lot of subtopics in it. And you have 5 minutes, address everything, go ahead. And also the host has to talk to you and ask questions in
Yeah.
these 5 minutes. And if
Whereas
you say
we have an
something
hour.
that the channel, we have a
Right.
whole hour. And if the news channel doesn't like what you're saying, they can easily just, you know, okay, next guest or something like that.
Exactly.
Something hilarious. I have, if I can mention something hilarious, I've always noticed in news channels. Obviously, you guys know this too, but like, because it's a bit delayed. There's like this hilarious like little awkward pause when they go like, "Okay, back
Yeah.
to you, Mike."
It's so funny. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then
They're just like
That's so
staring
funny.
for like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
like
funny.
5 solid seconds. And yeah,
It's literally like,
Yes,
and we are here
what's
today
going
with
on?
whatever the fuck is going on behind me, right? And back to you, Sherif. And it's literally like that. I love how we all went
Yeah, it's
silent,
like
right?
back and
Everyone
forth.
It's
sounds
crazy.
awkward.
There's always the nodding as well. It's like, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanna comment. I wanna also add more issues. So we talked about definitely politics in all the countries. I think politics around the world right now is messed up. I think part of the problem is this, you know, the internet wave and just how the world is changing because of the internet. And I think it's cool that we get to talk about that because we're more in touch with that as opposed to like all these old news stations.
Yeah.
They have no like, and they're not in touch with the whole wave that's going on in terms of TikTok or just like young people, Instagram, Zoom, you know, the internet. I feel like that's a huge one. And then another one is the wealth gap. I feel like that's going on in the world. The rich keep getting super rich. It's going over a lot of the people in the world. This is just in every single country around the world, with hyperinflation, everything that's going on in the world. And we get to talk about issues like that, plus COVID, plus other things, because we don't have any producers to tell us what to say. You know what I mean? We can talk about any of these things and more on the Wise Guys.
Unfiltered.
And talk about
Uncensored.
controversial, uncensored,
Uncensored, unfiltered. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just purely our thoughts and what we think about the whole thing. Like, no one on CNN is gonna go like, you know what, this is bullshit. I don't believe that this is what's going on. But we do get this
Yeah.
freedom of
No, they do.
Right.
But they cut the mic. Like
Right,
it's
exactly. Edward
amazing. I've
Snowden,
seen that.
all these like whistleblowers that are actually, you know, good people that helped out the world, but they're getting, you know,
Yep.
put in jail or escaped in Russia. So many things that the mainstream news can't talk about, we can talk about. And I think that's where I see the future of us going. I like talking about more controversial things that only we can talk about, especially world politics. If we're talking to someone from Palestine or from Uyghur. These are things that we can only talk about. And so I think it's kind of like our responsibility to find people, connect things, talk about these controversial issues so that we will get an audience because people want to listen to this. Once people find us, they'll know.
yeah. So I think we've hit a timestamp there. Oh no, I'm guessing we.
We still got some more time.
Do we?
Do time.
What time did
Great
we
time,
start?
dude.
I
This
forgot,
what
yeah.
it. Let's well, come on. This podcast goes
We're
for 1 hour.
Arabs. We invented time. Where do you guys?
This podcast goes for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Wait, no, also in addition, I want to talk about the meetups thing. I think, Sherif, that's a brilliant idea for having meetups. I think hopefully in the future, the more we grow, an idea could be that we could all meet up with people in different places around the world so that people could, as per Ali or Abbas or Saeed or Sherif, depends on where in the world, and we can do meetups and stuff.
Just hit
Yeah.
me. We can also do sort of like a KSI's one question go, but on Zoom, right? It's like ask us anything. We have
Yeah.
people in the waiting room. We'll let them in, ask us any of us anything. They ask us the questions. They're removed from the room. We answer, and they can all check out the answer. Like,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Right?
that's
So
really
we're gonna
good.
get so many trolls, man. There's always so many trolls.
yeah, but this is the beauty of a pre-recorded podcast. We can just
Exactly.
Pre-recorded. Okay.
basically. So that's another idea I've been thinking about. There's a lot of things. See, time is
If we get a
amazing.
troll, we could just if we get a troll, we could just like make fun of him. After
Yeah, it's just gonna come in. It's gonna be one guy versus 6. You know, it's really not a fun odd for him.
Troll the troller, basically.
Troll the troller.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Speaking of trolling the troller,
Electricity company is trolling Saeed.
yep.
Oh my
basically.
god.
I wanna talk about Saeed. Sherif mentioned like wasting time. I wonder, do you guys feel like you're ever wasting time?
Yes, 100%.
Dude, I've wasted
When-
time.
When is the
Are
time?
you
you-
asking me?
Listen,
Or
just in general, like
Yeah.
what time do you feel like is wasted?
bro, it's
Yeah.
not about how much time is wasted. It's about who you, or what you're wasting your time on, right? I think of time like it's currency. You don't waste money, you waste money on things. So you waste time
Yeah.
on things, be it people, doing things randomly, right? When you're sleeping, you're wasting time on your sleeping. So that's my mindset on wastage of time, right? Because at the same time, for me, it goes as though it's like time I enjoy wasting is not wasted time, right? So it's sort of like things I enjoy spending money on. Oh, there we go, Abbas. Don't worry about it, Abbas.
That's so funny.
So back to what I was saying. When I spend money on shit I like, it's not wasting money because I like this thing. It's giving me enjoyment, right? It's the same with time. So that's my whole
That is
thing
true.
of wasting
Money and
right?
time are kind of similar like that. That's true.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
If you spend too much time not addressing things you're supposed to address, and like I think wasting time is fine, but you can't waste all of it. You have to waste, like, not wasting some of it, actually using it productively means that the time you do spend on things that would normally be a waste of time isn't actually a waste of time. It's just fun time. You know, I think taking it one day at a time, you have to spend a day productively, I think, to justify. It's like, I think you have to earn it. I think you have to earn the waste of time.
I want
not
someone
wasting-
to just put a time counter, like, up in the corner. Of
How many
the screen
times people
just to
say time?
Yeah, on this episode, yeah.
Time to time.
Yeah, right. And then you just made whoever's person it is job to do it like much harder by doing what you just did. But
That's funny.
If I'd like you to continue what you were saying, because like I agree with you on this point, like about earning the time that you waste. If you can continue on it, I want to hear the rest of it.
I feel like I'm a prophet, man. Wow. Okay.
That's so good, dude. That's soundbite right there.
Yeah, right. Okay. Basically, I think from my personal experience, I think like I'd much rather wake up early in the morning, go for a walk, do my housework, have time to call my family, for example, and then play video games. I feel like I earned that. I feel like, for example, it's okay because I tended to things I have to tend to. I think my existence on this day today on this earth is justified. Doing this stupid thing right now just for my personal selfish enjoyment by actually tending to things above myself, higher than myself.
But
I
Sherif,
have
what makes you
responsibility.
consider what makes you consider video games as a waste of time? Like what makes it like a stupid thing in your opinion?
I think in a vacuum, that's the thing. They never exist in a vacuum. A hobby is a hobby, but you spend time on a hobby. I think a hobby that doesn't necessarily. I think yes, many people do claim the fact that it like increases certain skills, it immerses your imagination, but I think those things, if you really like that, great. But for me, it hasn't been the case. I've never been able to just play games for so much time and just feel like I'm actually not wasting my life, you know. But some people, I understand, maybe they're like that, but I'm not like. So I think everyone has to find the formula that works for themselves. But yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who, every single person I've known who spent hours every day playing video games, as depressed as that. So like, yeah, you'll be hard pressed to find someone who actually find meaning in that. You know, Amir had a good point about this. The last we were talking about gaming addiction once on one of these episodes. He said that I forgot what he said, but yeah. Check that episode out, you know.
I think that when it reaches the point of addiction, that's when it's like, you know, that's when it's a bad thing. Yeah. But the addiction is a different topic.
Yeah, in this case, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think, by the way, there's also an important thing that just came to my mind when it comes to time, right? And efficiency. Nothing in this universe is ever 100% efficient, right? There's in terms of time wastage and like things like that. There's always a certain amount of percentage within your efficiency ratio that's like wasted, right? Like even
Yeah.
if like I can ask Abbas, right? Abbas, we're both med students. Most of energy is wasted where? Usually on in the body.
Is it A, heat?
There you go, right? Exactly. So like we consume so much food as energy, but a lot of it is wasted as heat. Technically, it's not wasted because the body learned to adapt and shit. But regardless, that's not the point. The point is there's no such thing as pure efficiency, 100% efficient, because there's always got to be that small amount that's wasted on something, right? So since we have this as a fact of life, why not waste it on something valuable, precious, nice, fun, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you look good, something that, whatever it is, right? So, yep, Abbas, that facial reaction, don't worry about it. You're good, buddy. You're good. Understandable.
Me and Abbas still haven't answered the question, so
Yeah,
Abbas,
yeah,
you wanna
go ahead.
first?
Yeah. So can you remind me the question? It was like what?
Have you ever wasted time or felt like you've wasted time? Or what are your thoughts on wasting of time?
I mean, I fully agree with Sherif. I think wasting time is perfectly okay if you earned it. You know, I don't agree about wasting it fully though, like without doing anything. I know like people say go slow, keep it calm, go slow. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire by the age of 24. I fully agree that that's wrong. You know, but I mean, don't completely say, you know, like I have so much time on my hands and then like just sit there and not work on yourself. I think you should always be constantly working on yourself, even if it means like a vacation, you know, or watching TV. But as long as you're motivated the next day or the one that comes after it to do something to improve on yourself, I think that's perfectly fine. You know?
Yeah, man, you know, you really, really, really don't want to wake up someday being 40 years old and realize it's been 20 years since
Yeah,
you graduated
time
high
goes
school.
by
You haven't
fast.
committed to
It goes
anything
by
in your
fast,
life.
and you need to value your time. I mean, time, like I said earlier, it's so limited. You can't just waste it like not planning, just video games and whatnot. You know, you gotta work at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Alright.
This is deep. This is one of the deep episodes. Go Saeed.
My opinion about wasting time is that it's more of an optimistic kind of perspective. I don't think human beings are actually fully capable of wasting time, because there's always something you can learn from an experience that you have. It just goes back to how aware you are about it. So like the higher your awareness, the higher the chance of you learning something different from whatever kind of experience it is. So for example, let's say you're going out with a friend, with a toxic friend, but your sense of awareness of like of life in general, of accepting things and understanding what they actually are. So if it's low, you're gonna notice that this person is toxic very late. You know, it's gonna take you more time. But if you have a high sense of awareness, you're gonna notice it from the beginning, and you're just gonna cut them off. But
you know what the
you're not
signs
exactly,
mean.
huh?
You'll know what the signs mean.
Exactly. But not only awareness, in general, I don't feel like your mind allows you to waste time, because like it's always working.
That is true.
Even if you're
yeah,
exactly, even if you're sitting down or you're just like laid back and not
I
actually
disagree with
doing
that
something,
side.
your mind is capable of thinking,
Right.
self-reflection, going into a creative mentality where you just think of things that you wouldn't usually think when you're working. So that's my opinion.
I think also like time where you're doing nothing is important. I think like time to be bored and just sit there and reflect is also good. But I don't think that all time is equal in like your growth. Some like looking back at the year, the time I remember the most valuable time is the times I felt most alive, doing things that I really love to do. And I don't think that those times where I felt really good is as equal to the times where I just, was on my phone on social media for an hour or two. I would have rather traded that social media for another.
Yeah, Ali,
experience.
for sure. But the
Yeah.
thing is, like each person has his own perception on how they want to spend their time. Like it also goes back to how your environment and how you're raised. It's like the people around you. the kind of personality that you are. If you're if you're a high energetic kind of person, you constantly want to do stuff. You're highly animated, and you know it's hard for you to stay laid back and not like just relax. You know, but if someone is a bit more, you know, low energy and is like be able to be more calm and relax, maybe they're more capable of self-reflection than someone who's a bit more, you know.
You're saying I'm not relaxed? You're saying I'm not relaxed? You're saying I'm not
Bro,
relaxed?
To be honest, you
relaxed.
do sound agitated from time to time.
Calm down.
You're saying I'm not relaxed?
Hey.
I'm relaxed.
Speaking of, look at the time, right? We actually did hit a timestamp now. We went a little bit overboard, but that's because it's 12.
Very nice, boys. Another day, another episode.
And I'm dying to sleep.
Let's do it.
So thank you very much for watching another episode of A to the Show. If you guys enjoyed this episode half as much as we enjoyed filming it for you, please do like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to all the boys for coming in today. Boys, in a year's time, we will be
spitting rhymes right now, man.
Yeah, bro. In a year's time, we will be watching. We're not sponsored by PlayStation, if you're wondering. In a year's time, we will be watching
PlayStation.
this episode, and we'll see. We're not sponsored by Gatorade, by the way. We'll see if.
Bro, if you make money from this video, they can actually demand money from you.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah,
but we're not making money from this video.
Yeah, and soon enough we will. Hey, mindset. I'm turning your camera off. How do you close? I can't even stop. Yeah, I can, but I'm not going to. Like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. Comment. We read all your comments. Peace, love, happiness. I'm gonna kick your ass. See you.